Hello, my beautiful people. So, today in this video, we are going to talk about the secret cravings. So, we are going to have this 5-second gut check whether you are having snack kind of feeling or some signal. Before we are going to start this topic, take a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you ate something and thought, why did I even eat that? Whether I was hungry or was I feeling something else? If your answer has anything to do with stress, boredom, sadness, or just needing a break, then this video is for you. In this video, we will talk about the emotional eating, that is, the food for the feelings, how we can break the cycle, and how we can overcome the emotional eating. So, what is emotional eating? Emotional eating is the act of consuming food, often high calorie or comfort foods, in response to feeling instead of hunger. Why we eat emotionally? In order to stress relief, boredom, loneliness, habitual behavior, or social or cultural triggers. Because of these reasons, we eat emotionally. So, first, we will talk about the stress relief. When we are stressed, the body releases cortisol, a hormone that increases the appetite and cravings, especially for sugary or fatty foods. For example, after a long day, people often reach for snacks or comfort food to feel better, and this is a brain driven reward behavior. So, now the second we'll talk about we eat emotionally because of the boredom or loneliness. Boredom leads to a lack of stimulation, and eating becomes an activity to fill that void. Loneliness triggers the brain's reward system and seeking pleasure through food. For example, watching TV alone at night might lead someone to snack mindlessly just to feel some kind of engagement or emotional comfort. Next is emotionally eating because of the habitual behavior. Eating in response to emotions can become a conditioned habit where the brain associates certain feelings with food. For example, if someone always eat ice cream when sad, the brain start craving it automatically with any sadness. Next is the social or cultural triggers. Social norms and cultural practices often tie food to emotional moments like celebrations, grief, bonding, etc. Emotional eating is more common in cultures where food is closely linked to emotional expression, such as using food to celebrate comfort. For example, feeling pleasure to eat at family gatherings, even when full, or eating to feel included and avoid social discomfort. So, here we'll talk about the brain chemistry behind it, the neuroscience of cravings. The contents are like dopamine, cortisol, and serotonin. First is the dopamine. Because of that, this is a reward chemical. So, it is a neurotransmitter involved in the brain's reward system. It spikes when we eat sugary food or highly palatable foods. Why it matters? Because it creates a pleasure loop. We crave that feel good hit again and again, even if we are not hungry. So, next is the cortisol, stress hormone. Cortisol is released when we are under stress. It increases appetite and cravings, especially for calorie dense comfort foods. For example, a stressful work day, and there is a sudden urge for chips, fast foods, or sweets. And the next one is serotonin. It is a mood stabilizer. It helps to regulate mood, sleep, and appetite. Carbohydrates help increasing serotonin levels, which is why we often crave them when we feel low. For example, craving for bread, pasta, and sweets during the emotional lows is a brain based response. So, now we'll talk about the cycle of emotional eating, how emotional eating becomes a habit. So, there is a trigger emotion, craving, eating, temporary relief, guilt, and then the repeat cycle. So, triggering emotion with a negative emotion, maybe like the stress, sadness, boredom, or anxiety. So, there comes the temporary relief. Eating brings a short term sense of pleasure or distraction, masking the emotion. So, why it matters? Over the time, emotional eating can lead to weight gain, poor health, and emotional distress, making it important to recognize and interrupt the cycle. So, we need to understand what is the emotional hunger and what is the physical hunger. So, differentiation is very important to understand. So, this emotional hunger comes when it is Sudden feeling comes out, appears instantly, and feels like urgent, like you need to eat now. But the physical hunger, it develops gradually. You feel in building something. So, emotional hunger is driven by feelings, but the physical hunger is the body's biological need for the fuel. Before eating, always pause and ask yourself, am I truly hungry or am I feeding a feeling? So, breaking this emotional eating, we have to practice mindfulness, keep a food journal, stress management, and eat balanced meal to prevent blood sugar. So, practicing mindfulness is very important. Being fully present when eating, paying attention to flavors, hunger cues, and emotions. For example, before reaching for the snacks, pause and ask why you are eating it. Second is keeping a food mood journal. Track what you eat, how you feel before and after. Identify patterns before and between moods and eating habit. For example, journaling reveals your craving for the sweets after arguments or long work days. And this awareness is the first step to change, and that is important. Self monitoring is one of the most effective behavioral change tool. Next is manage your stress. Meditation, yoga, deep breathing, walking in nature, these calm the nervous system without food. Harvard Medical School article state that even 10 minutes of daily meditation reduces your cortisol and food cravings. Next is eat balanced and meals regularly. Don't skip your meal. That is important. Always eat in proper time. Unstable blood sugar can mimic emotionally hunger eating. Now we will talk about the takeaway messages. Emotional eating is not lack of willpower, it's a science. Understanding your brain, emotions, and body is the first step of healing. You are not alone, and you can always retrain your brain if you are doing emotional eating. So now you have to answer these questions. What emotions usually drive you to eat, or what non food habits can you try instead? So if you like my channel, if you like this topic of mine, please subscribe my channel and you can always comment. Thank you so much and have a nice day.